It's time for St. Lucia Magazine, your monthly wrap-up.
Hello and welcome to St. Lucia Magazine, your weekly roundup of the nation's top stories in education, the economy, infrastructure, agriculture, and more. I'm your host, Nival Auguste. In this edition, government unveils the 2026 budget, highlighting growth, infrastructure, and social support. And $14.8 million has been allocated for the reconstruction of the Choc Bridge. Government outlines major plans for growth, infrastructure, and social support in the 2026-2027 budget. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, has unveiled to the government's plans for the 2026-2027 fiscal year.
1. Major upgrades in infrastructure, including the Sir Julian R. Hunt Highway, the Choc Bridge, and the renewal International Airport. 2. Investments in renewable energy to include the passage of the electricity supply bill. 3. Continuing work on the energy sector development project, among other renewable energy projects. 4. Continuing investment in national security and citizen security. 5. Expansion in tourism, including opening of over 500 rooms in 2027. 6. Expansion of the youth economy. 7. Commencement of work on the George Odlum Stadium. 8. A fully functioning St. Jude Hospital. 9. Evidence for decision-making based on data and research. 10. Major repairs to schools. Construction of SCN schools. 11. Emphasis on special needs education, SCN. 13. Further early childhood and education initiatives. 14. Programming, education realignment and transformation put to continue the education transformation. 15. Transfer of land title to qualifying occupants free of charge. 16. Major investments in the water sector, including the promotion of rainwater harvesting. 17. Efficient and green buildings. 18. Caribbean Renewable Energy Infrastructure Investment Facility. 19. Renewable energy sector developmental projects. 20. Policies to improve the welfare of our vulnerable, older, and challenged citizens. Other initiatives will include 21. Further implementation of the initiation of the Blue Economy Project. 22. Enhancing the resilience of the fire service for capacity building and procurement of much-needed equipment for the fire service. 23. Several major projects in the tourism industry. 24. Enhancement of the community-based tourism project. 25. Universal health coverage. 28. Easier business facilitation for the ease of doing business program. 29. Support and grants for the creative industry and orange economy participants. 29. Fish adaptation project. 30. Housing development projects in several areas. And 31. Measures to enhance food security and agro-processing.
The Prime Minister reaffirmed government's commitment to prudent fiscal management, noting that citizens will remain at the center of all development plans. For the Government Information Service, I am Nival Auguste. The government is moving ahead with the long-anticipated Choc Bridge project. Claudia Monlouis reports.
Speaking during the debate on the 2026-2027 estimates of revenue and expenditure, Minister Honorable Sean Edwards said $14.8 million has been allocated in this year's budget to advance construction on the Choc Bridge project. The minister explained that the pre-engineered steel system called an Atlas Bridge will feature a 4-lane double carriageway designed to improve traffic flow and enhance road safety. Key components of the bridge will be manufactured and shipped from the United Kingdom.
Mr. Speaker, the project has been estimated in total at $21.8 million. But in this year's allocation, Mr. Speaker, 14.8 million has been allotted. And that amount will take into consideration construction of superstructure and substructure, and also 7 million, Mr. Speaker, for obtaining the bridge and shipping it from the UK. An Atlas Bridge has been designed. It will have 4 lanes, or what we call a double carriageway, and all the pre-engineering and prefabricated material, Mr. Speaker, will come from the UK to give us a bridge of 36.6 meters in length. Mr. Speaker,
Minister Edward noted that engineers will adopt a construction strategy aimed at minimizing disruption to motorists. Rather than building a temporary diversion, the existing carriageway will serve as the alternative route during construction, as the alignment of the new bridge allows works to proceed alongside current traffic movement. Construction is projected to take approximately 14 months from commencement to completion. The upgraded infrastructure will deliver safer and more efficient travel for commuters and support national economic activity. For the Government Information Service, I am Claudia Monlouis.
Still to come, the IRD urges taxpayers to file and take advantage of the tax amnesty before the 1st of May deadline. Stay with us.
Public Assistance Program PAP beneficiaries are hereby notified of a mandatory card renewal and information update exercise happening March 10 to April 13, 2026 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily at welfare offices island-wide. All PAP recipients must visit the welfare office nearest them with their PAP card and required documents, including national ID cards for adults, birth certificates for children, recent medical documentation where applicable, school report cards or enrollment letters, and a stamped bank slip for bank payments. Beneficiaries without a valid PAP card dated September 2025 to March 2026 and those who have never visited a welfare office must report on or before April 30, 2026. Failure to comply will result in the suspension of payments and removal from the program, requiring full reapplication. For more information, contact the welfare office at 468-5108, 468-5160 or 454-9314. A message from the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice, Gender, Older Persons, Labor, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs.
Welcome back. The Inland Revenue Department is ramping up efforts to assist taxpayers ahead of 2 key deadlines, urging individuals to file returns by March 1st and take advantage of the tax amnesty program before it ends on May 1st. Glenn Simon tells us more.
The Inland Revenue Department, IRD, is intensifying its outreach as the country approaches 2 critical deadlines: the March 1st tax filing deadline and the May 1st amnesty deadline. Acting Deputy Comptroller Cyprian Montrop is encouraging taxpayers, particularly those with outstanding balances, to take advantage of government's tax amnesty program while it is still available.
Because what it seeks to do is to reduce your taxes significantly by eliminating penalties and interest, 100%. Once May 1st is gone, it means therefore that all penalties and interest will be reinstated, which means that you will be back into your normal position, which may make life a little more difficult for your cash flow. And so the government's intention here is to benefit the tax-paying public by allowing the cash flow, to be better by taking advantage of the program as it is right now.
Montrop implores taxpayers against complacency in meeting their tax obligations to the IRD. He warns that there will be no extension beyond the amnesty deadline.
If you are thinking or procrastinating that it may continue and choose not to benefit from this period, I'd encourage you to come into the department to settle your taxes, because the amnesty definitely will not continue after May 1st.
He is also urging taxpayers who are unaware of their status to visit the department to verify whether they have any outstanding liabilities. Meanwhile, Acting Assistant Comptroller Lisa Goodman said the IRD has expanded its services to make it easier for taxpayers to meet their obligations.
We have help desk set up, one at JQ Rodney Bay, which we have every year, and this year we have a station at the Castries City Council's conference area, where we are offering filing services to taxpayers. All our locations are open and available to assist taxpayers. So taxpayers in the South can visit our Soufriere office. Those in Vieux-Fort can visit our Vieux-Fort Tax Service Center. Our Bridge Street branch is open and taxpayers can visit us. We're on the 3rd floor of the ECFH building. Our help desk at Cashry City Council. We come up to the waterfront now. Taxpayers will be served on the 1st floor and the 3rd floor. Taxpayers can also get assistance at our Gablewoods office. We have our property tax office, and they will be assisting taxpayers file as well. And in the north, we have our help desk at the JQ Rodney Bay Mall.
In addition to in-person services, the IRD is encouraging taxpayers to utilize any of the 3 available filing options: the traditional paper-based method, a downloadable tax return form, or the e-filing platform, which offers a faster, more efficient and convenient way to submit returns.
We also are providing Saturday services. This Saturday is our last Saturday. Taxpayers can take advantage. We are open on the waterfront, 1st floor, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also, our Vieux-Fort office will be open on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Goodman encourages taxpayers to ensure that they have the correct tax code, particularly with the recent changes to the tax regime. Staff of the IRD, she said, are committed to assisting taxpayers. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, Glenn Simon reporting.
Government prepares to host the 2026 Ease of Doing Business Forum, bringing together public and private sector stakeholders to tackle bureaucratic barriers and improve the investment climate in St. Lucia. Jesse Leos has the details.
The government of St. Lucia has announced the 2026 Ease of Doing Business Forum, a high-priority event designed to streamline the country's investment climate and foster economic growth. The forum will bring together key regulatory and private sector stakeholders to address bureaucratic challenges, streamline regulatory processes, and foster a more supportive environment for entrepreneurs and investors. The forum follows a preliminary private sector stakeholder meeting held earlier this year with the Minister responsible for Commerce and Investment, Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire.
So we've decided to bring together all the stakeholders, private sector, public sector, and let's have a dialogue. We want the private sector to say to us all the bottlenecks they see in the system. We want the private sector agencies that are responsible for facilitating business in the country to discuss with the private sector what are the changes and reforms that can be undertaken to allow them to be more efficient in the conduct of their business. So the Ease of Doing Business Forum is a really important activity.
Permanent Secretary in the Department of Commerce, Sophia Alfie-Henry, says the forum will orient the private sector on regulatory agency processes to foster a collaborative approach to identify opportunities for optimization.
Where we will bring representatives from the regulatory agencies to give them an opportunity to express some of the internal challenges that they have, and also to articulate some of the changes that they have made or some of the planned changes. Because this forum is not just to speak about challenges. It is to also get from the parties, the stakeholders, the proposed solutions, the recommendations, so that if it requires legislative amendments, if it requires further government intervention, that we can assess the gaps and make the changes.
This forum comes on the heels of Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre's commitment to prioritize business facilitation in the 2026-2027 budget. While the World Bank has paused its traditional Ease of Doing Business rankings, the government is moving forward with its own aggressive reforms to remove barriers to entry and support local entrepreneurs.
We have a broader objective for doing that as well. We also want to place a lot of priority on small business development in the country, from helping it be established, giving them technical assistance to make sure they are structured properly, they manage properly, provide financing for them. And we have plans to establish a small business development center in St. Lucia that will replace SEDU as we know it, and for government to put a lot of resources into the creation of a small business give greater support for small business development in St. Lucia. So that ease of doing business forum really is a precursor to that. So we can start removing some of those barriers.
The 2026 Ease of Doing Business Forum will be held on the 9th of April at the Finance Administrative Center. For the Department of Commerce, I am Jessie Leonce reporting.
Beneficiaries of St. Lucia's Public Assistance Program are being urged to complete mandatory card renewal and national information update processes before the April 13th deadline. Chevroy Marius reports.
2 weeks into the ongoing review process, beneficiaries of the Public Assistance Program PAP are being reminded to participate in a mandatory card renewal and national information update exercise designed to strengthen beneficiary records and ensure continued and accurate delivery of monthly assistance to eligible households. Beneficiaries are also being encouraged to take advantage of the multiple welfare office locations available across the island to complete the process at the office closest to them. The verification and card update exercise runs from Tuesday, March 10, 2026 to April 13, 2026 between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily at welfare offices island-wide. Emphasizing on the accessibility of the service is the Deputy Director with responsibility for the Social Protection Unit, Jean McFarlane.
I want to say that the welfare offices are located in various constituencies throughout the island. So a lot of times persons gravitate towards Castries. You do not have to come to the Castries office. We're located in Vieux-Fort, in Soufriere, at Babono, in Dennery. So you can go to the office nearest you. There would be a welfare officer to attend to you.
Currently, the Public Assistance Program supports over 3,300 households across St. Lucia. However, due to existing budgetary constraints, the program operates with a maximum capacity of 3,600 households, while over 1,000 additional households remain on the waiting list seeking assistance. The ongoing verification process therefore plays a critical role in ensuring that the program records remain accurate and that available resources are directed to households that genuinely require support.
An important aspect of the review is to ensure proof of life, basically. We need to know that persons receive the money, or monies when we send it out, and it gets to the beneficiary. So we need to know that persons are still alive and still need the assistance.
McFarlane also highlighted that alternative arrangements exist for beneficiaries who may be unable to attend the verification exercise in person.
So we do have persons with disability, as well as bedridden persons, persons with medical conditions who may not be able to come in to our various offices. So in some situations, these persons would have proxies, would act on their behalf, and so we ask that a proxy comes in with the information to update. As well, once we've completed in-office interviews, the welfare officers would be able to go out to the homes to reach those persons who would not have been able to come in.
However, beneficiaries are reminded that failure to report to the welfare office within the stipulated deadline will result in the suspension of public assistance payments and possible removal from the program. Households removed due to non-compliance will be required to undergo the full reapplication process to be reconsidered for assistance.
If they do not follow up, if within a month after we've ended the exercise, we're still unable to locate those persons, then yes, the funds will be suspended. Another aspect of the program is that persons, once their situations have improved, you're now employed, your children have completed secondary school and so forth, we really want for persons to be able to exit the program so that we would now be able to help new households to get to that point of resilience and self-sustenance.
Beneficiaries are strongly urged to present all required documentation in full and to cooperate fully with welfare officers to ensure a smooth and timely update process. To date, approximately 300 beneficiaries have already been reviewed, and eligible households are encouraged to visit the welfare office nearest to them as soon as possible to complete the verification exercise and afford any disruption in their monthly public assistance benefits. From the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice, Gender, Older Persons, Labor, Cooperatives, and Consumer Affairs, Chevroy Marius.
Coming up next, St. Lucia moves to modernize NGO governance with the national consultation.
Calling all young artists. The St. Lucia Halls of Justice Youth Art Challenge is calling all secondary and tertiary students to show us your creativity. What does justice look like to you? Equality, community unity, fair treatment, second chances? Show us. Paint it, sculpt it, design it. Use materials you already have. Whatever inspires you. The top 3 artists win iPads. But the real prize is the best artwork will be displayed on massive construction hoardings in Castries for all to see. Your art could be here. New submission deadline April 20th. Follow for details.
Welcome back. Government has taken steps to improve NGO management, holding a national consultation to review proposed amendments that would ensure greater transparency, accountability, and stakeholder participation. More in this report.
Stakeholder engagement on the strengthening of non-governmental organizations' governance framework in St. Lucia has moved one step further with the convening of a national consultation with civil society partners. Held in the latter part of February, the session, convened by the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice, Gender, Older Persons, Labor, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs, brought NGOs together to review and provide feedback on the proposed non-governmental organizations amendment bill, including plans to establish a non-governmental organization Council and an Appeals Committee. Kendall Elver, Deputy Director of Social Transformation, underscored the need for legislative reform to reflect evolving realities.
This particular act was passed in 2006, and understandably the situation on the ground has changed, and as a ministry we believe that legislation has to be responsive to our context and the various needs of NGOs. The government of St. Lucia is also party to several international agreements, those which speak to money laundering, terrorist financing, and we need to ensure that our non-governmental organizations are operating in a manner which is transparent and accountable.
The consultation formed part of a broader commitment to inclusive governance, with discussions also focusing on the proposed 7-member NGO Council, which will oversee registration, certification, investigations and compliance, as well as a 3-member Appeals Committee to strengthen accountability and procedural fairness.
The ministry places a great emphasis on participatory development, and given that this Non-Governmental Organization Act, it has implications for how NGOs operate. These NGOs do have a right to have a say on the changes which are being proposed. In addition to having NGOs have their say on the changes to the NGO Act, we are also looking to have them to make nominations for individuals to serve on 2 structures. These structures include the Non-Governmental Organizations Council. That council will be established to regulate and monitor the operations of non-governmental organizations. It is a 7-member council, and its establishment signals that the government of St. Lucia is looking to strengthen the provision of services to the NGO sector in St. Lucia.
Sylvina Augustine James, president and founder of Making a Difference Foundation, welcomed the process.
It was a very educating experience where we were able to analyze the document, identify issues, and make recommendations to ensure that we have an NGO Act that everyone would feel comfortable with. So indeed, I am extremely excited about this because I think it's years now that I first heard about this process, and I am beginning to realize that it is going to come to an end.
Through this engagement, the ministry continues to strengthen collaboration with civil society as it works to modernize the legislative framework governing NGOs and enhance support systems for vulnerable communities across St. Lucia.
Efforts to boost maritime security in Soufriere are gaining momentum as stakeholders meet to explore the creation of a dedicated police marine unit aimed at safeguarding the town's waters. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
Efforts to strengthen maritime security in Soufriere are gaining momentum. Key stakeholders recently met to discuss the potential establishment of a dedicated police marine unit to serve the coastal community. The discussion, facilitated by the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation, brought together representatives from the marine sector, law enforcement, tourism stakeholders, and regulatory agencies to examine measures aimed at improving safety, surveillance, and coordination within Soufriere's marine space. The Director of Maritime Affairs at SLASPA, Christopher Alexander, underscored the importance of coordination between regulatory agencies and law enforcement to strengthen maritime surveillance and maintain order within the country's marine spaces.
SLASPA would like to commend the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation on the initiative to call this meeting today with key stakeholders. Noting that GPH is about entering the development of Soufriere, and also knowing there'll be an influx of maritime traffic within Soufriere. We found the timing was opportune for us to discuss concerns that have been plaguing the Soufriere maritime sector. We've seen the way forward. Today was not just a talk shop, but today was solutions oriented.
Soufriere's waters play a vital role in the community's economy, supporting fishing, marine transportation, yachting, and a thriving tourism industry. Maritime consultant Cuthbert Didier lauded the SRDF for bringing together stakeholders in a bid to address some of the issues that affect the town's maritime sector.
We are in a time when we have limited resources, and there's a great strain to create more synergy and greater dialogue for comprehensive results. And I want to say today was very focus oriented on solutions, and I can say that the future looks bright. However, I'm a little concerned about the activities from boaters and boat owners as they traverse the waters along the west coast, ending up in Soufriere. But I know with the help of SLASPA, the Marine Police, and the drive that the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation has, we will be able to deal with these challenges, and hopefully St. Lucia will improve on its tourism product.
With increasing marine activity in the area, stakeholders say strengthening maritime security is critical to protecting livelihoods, safeguarding marine resources, and maintaining the town's reputation as one of St. Lucia's premier tourism destinations. The corporate communications and marketing manager at the SRDF, Lovely St. Amy Joseph, says that the meeting provided an important opportunity for stakeholders to examine the security needs of Soufriere's marine environment and identify practical steps toward addressing them.
Today's stakeholder consultation was a great opportunity for all ideas to contend, for everybody to get on the same page and chart the way forward for security and the tourism industry, not just in Soufriere, but in St. Lucia. Soufriere is often referred to as the tourism mecca. We respect that position, and we're glad to see that the various stakeholders, the Marine Police Unit, SLASPA, our hoteliers, everybody came together today in a concerted effort to move the industry forward and to ensure security is on the front burner of what we do.
Stakeholders say continued collaboration among public agencies, marine operators, and the private sector will be essential in ensuring that Soufriere's waters remain safe, well managed, and capable of supporting the community's marine-based economy. From the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of St. Lucia Magazine. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who contributed to this production: the National Television Network, the GIS team, and the communications officers across government ministries. Thank you for watching NTN Channel 122 and following the official social media platforms of the Government of St. Lucia. I am Nivalo Geist. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged as we continue tracking St. Lucia's progress.